Hello all. Today I'm going to show you how to turn that old picture into this old picture. Okay, are we ready? So what we want to do is outline the part of the body that you want. Today we're going to use the selection tool. Make sure it's in freehand mode because rectangle or ellipse is just going to give you a specific shape, and we don't want that because we want to outline very specific lines and curves. So I'm going to go to freehand and we're just going to outline his head for now because I already have his body outlined somewhere else, and just so that we can save some time. So here we go, and we're gonna try just to do as close to the lines of his face, his head as possible. And if I make a mistake like that, all I have to do is press the screen with 2 fingers. So as we see here, we're just getting as much as we can of the head as possible. And then afterwards, we can kind of touch up using the eraser tool. I'm using my Apple Pencil here, and if you make a mistake or if you need to lift your hand, you are able to. So now that I have my selection here, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click copy and paste. And what that's going to do is copy what you selected and paste it into a new layer. So let's close out this other layer so that now I'm able to kind of touch up the selection that I made. I'm going to go to the eraser tool, and I like to use technical pen for small areas that I would like to erase. And I like to zoom in very close to what it is that I'm erasing. Just kind of make sure that the eraser tool is the right size and the proper opaqueness. So you can also change the interface, the controls to be on your left or right side. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to leave them on the right. So here I'm going to just kind of touch up a little bit of the sides of his head, and I'm going to kind of take out the green from the background in the original photo. And typically I would take a bit more care with this, but because I already have majority of his body, or I actually already have what I need outlined, I'm just going to go and show you that. So we can take this layer off, and then I'm going to show you right here the selection, the outline of his entire body that I did earlier. So you can delete that old layer and go back here. Now what we want to do is work on his hair. Do you see here how his hair has, like, it's narrow and then it's wide? Well, what I did was I outlined just his hair a second time from the original photo and kind of put it behind or in front of the hair that I made from the first selection so that it kind of gives it more of that voluminous feel. So now what we want to do is focus on that basketball. So if we see this layer here, the basketball, or the beach ball, sorry, is being sat on. So what I'm going to do is take a picture of the basketball from the internet and save it to my iPad. I'm going to go here to the wrench, hit add. Usually I would do insert a photo or a file depending on where I have my picture saved, but I already have a picture here in my layers. So I'm going to do here is I'm just going to duplicate that layer that already has the basketball. Now, granted, this basketball already has some edits on it, but I do want to show you what I use to be able to kind of make that basketball look like someone is sitting on it. So what I did here was I used my selection tool and I distorted and warped the basketball. Now, you don't want to use uniform or freeform because what those two do is they just kind of like reshape it instead of making it look like here, like I'm sitting on the basketball, right? Instead of, all it does is kind of make it bigger or smaller here. See, I'm going to show you right now. Let's take a look at that. So we click on uniform and see bigger, smaller, and freeform, bigger, smaller in a different sense. So let's go here to distort, and I'm going to show you, you can change the physical shape of the object, in this case basketball, and then you can make it look a little bit more like it's being stretched out. And then when you use warp, you can kind of use warp to make it look like it's squished so that it looks like somebody is physically sitting on this basketball. So this picture did start out as a normal shaped basketball and now it's a seat. So let's go back to that original basketball image that I have here, right? So what I did, the next thing I needed to notice was the fact that the photo is from the 1990s. So a new photo of the internet from a basketball would be a very high def picture. So we need to make sure we add some kind of grainy, filmy look to this photo since it was from the 1990s. So I'm going to go here to the wand, the adjustments panel, and I'm going to click on noise for now. You can click on any of the other ones just to test them out, but today we're going to start with noise. So I'm going to go up here to the top and hit pencil because in this sense now I have the ability to kind of control even more so the object that I'm trying to edit. Basically, I use the pencil to just kind of color in the object with this noise or this sharpening or this grain that I want to add, right? At the moment, it's kind of difficult to tell any kind of changes on this because I had already put some sort of change on this basketball. Another thing that I like to do is here, I'm going to show you guys layer 6 right here. And this one gives that deeper, grainy, deeper shadow dimensional feel to it. And what I also did was I took the eraser tool and I made the opaqueness very, very low, and I just kind of started to erase a bit of the basketball so that it kind of just started to look a little bit older and washed out. So now we're going to take a look at our final here and take a look at this. We made it look like so that this kid is sitting on a basketball, even though the whole time he's sitting on a beach ball. So I hope you guys like this tutorial and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you all so much.